Hello friends, today we have D-Link Eagle Pro AI series router model R12 and we are going to configure this router as an access point. In this situation, I already have DIR615 as my main router which is configured and it's ready to use. Now we have R12 and I want to connect that router and I want to configure R12 as an access point. So let us know how we have to do it. So firstly, if you have a laptop or a system, try to connect this laptop wirelessly to the R12 router. By default, the name and the password is written at the bottom side of the router as Wi-Fi name and Wi-Fi password. So this is the Wi-Fi name and I have already put in the password. So it's already connected to the R12 network. So once it is connected, you need to open up a browser and type in 192.168.0.1. You will be able to open the D-Link configuration page. For this password is written at the bottom side of the router as a device password. So it's a unique password which is noted at the every router. So you need to enter that password. So once you enter it, click login. Alright, so once we logged in, you will get a setup wizard. So you just have to click on agree and then click on next. Now when you're configuring this R12 router as access point, there is a certain process we need to follow. So firstly is you need to set this router, you need to complete the configuration as a router, and after that you need to change that router as a access point. So first thing is you have to select the mode as router mode only, and then you can click on next. You will get a step-by-step process. Click on next. Select I understand and want to continue. Click on next again, and then select as DHCP. If you keep auto detection, then it will try to search the internet connection which you are trying to configure, which we do not want. We want this router to be as an access point. So select that connection type as DHCP connection and then click on next. Here you can change the name for the network, whatever you want, and you can change the password. Alright, I'm keeping the same one, no problem with that. So you just click on next. Now here you need to set up the password for the admin. So I'm just keeping as admin123. Click on next. Select the time zone and then click on next. Select keep my device up to date automatically. And this is the summary. So you just have to click on next. So once the settings are done, this router will be configured as a normal router, but then after that we need to follow certain procedure. We need to configure as an access point. By default there are two modes on it. One is router mode and one is extender mode, as we have seen in the previous screen. Extender mode is just to if you want to connect this router wirelessly to the router, but we do not want that right now. We need to connect with a cable. So I have a DIR615 at my backend which is configured and its internet is working through it. So I want to connect that 615 DIR615 using a LAN cable to this R12 router. So let us just wait for some time. Once the settings are done, we will continue the setup. One thing I would like to mention here, that this router, since it is an AI router, you can also access this router using the host name. The host name is written at the bottom side of the router as default router settings. There is a link which is also as the host name. So you can either access this router using the IP address, or you can access this router's configuration page using the host name. So while the settings are getting saved, you will see the changes in the lights on the router. The light will turn to orange and then it will turn to white again. So just wait for some time, let these settings getting saved properly, and the LEDs turns on. So another 50 odd seconds. Once the settings are done, it may happen that your laptop gets disconnected from the network. So it is advisable that you configure this, you follow this procedure using a LAN cable. Right now we have connected using a Wi-Fi, but you can also connect a cable between the laptop and the router and you can configure the same settings. All right. Okay. So now you can see on the router, power 2.4 and 5 gigahertz LED will be solid white. Okay, the internet LED will not turn on because we have not configured yet. So this is the host name for the router. Using this you can access the D-Link page also. Alright, so once it is connected, you just enter it, should be able to access the R12 page. So I have kept the password for the router's login as admin123. So log into it. Once you log in, you have to go to settings, then you have to go to operation mode, and here you have to select as extender. So once you select extender, click on save settings. Click OK. So again we have to wait another 150 odd seconds. Another thing which I would like to mention over here again. Now, in previous routers, we had a different setup for configuring any router as an access point. We usually change the IP address of the router, then manually disable the DHCP on the router. But these AI series router, we do not have to do that. Once we configure it in as an extender and then as an access point, as an AP, it will automatically disable the DHCP on the device. And then once the DHCP is disabled, then you can log into the router using the host name, and then you can check what is the IP address it is received by the main router, by the existing router. Again, while the settings are getting saved, you will see the changes in the lights. The lights will go to orange, and then again it will come back white. Alright, so just wait for some few seconds more. Again, just check if the laptop is disconnected from the network. Yes. So again, click on connect to the R12 network. Alright, so once it is connected, see if you are able to access the page using the host name. Admin123 is the login password. So now you have to go to settings, go to extender, okay, settings, and then go to extender. Once you click on extender, here you will have the existing network and you will have the drop down arrow here. So you just have to click on it, select Ethernet. Okay, you have to click on here existing network and then click on Ethernet. So once you select as Ethernet, at the bottom you will be able to see the Wi-Fi name and the password which you want to set up. Now by default the Smart Connect is enabled. Now Smart Connect means if this is enabled, only one SSID will be broadcasted by the router. Okay, so if you disable it, you will get two networks. One will be 2.4 and one will be 5. So if you keep enable, then you will get only one network. Now it will depend on your client, like mobile or laptop, whichever the preferred network you have set on the device, on the client, it will see the network. So if it supports 5 gigahertz, you will be able to see 2.4 and 5 both. If it supports 2.4, it will only show you 2.4 on the client. Okay, so now you just have to rest everything, keep it same. You can change the name for the Wi-Fi whatever you want. I'm just keeping the name as EXT so that I can understand that this is the extended network. Okay, password I'm keeping the same one, by default one. Later on if you want, then you can change it, no issues with that. Okay, so once this is done, you just have to click on save. Just wait for some time, let the settings save properly. Alright, so now click OK. So now you'll be able to see the name which we have given. I have given the same name, but just at the end I have put ext. Just wait, just see. Alright, so this is the name for the R12 which I have given. So click on it, click on connect, enter the password. Password I have kept the same. So once you are trying to connect, it will not able to connect because R12 is configured as an access point. Okay, hence it doesn't have a capability to give IP address on its own. So once these settings are done, you'll have to connect your main router's IP, main router's cable, that is DIR615, okay, to the R12. Alright, till then, if you have not connected the cable from the DIR615 to the R12, the R12 will release the IP in the range of 192.168.0.50. Okay, so if you just check the IP address on my LAN card, on my Wi-Fi card, I will be getting 0.50. There's no need to worry if you're getting 0.50 for the time being, because we have not connected the cable, we have not made a physical connection between the 615 DIR615, which is my main router, and the R12. So I will be getting the IP address in the range of R12's router, but the gateway will be 0.50. Okay, since it is first we have configured as an extender, then we have configured as an access point. Okay, so once this is done, you connect the cable from your DIR615 to the R12's any one of the LAN port. Okay, so once you connect that cable, you can check a difference in the LED. The internet LED on the R12 will turn to white. Okay, so once that is done, you can just see if you are able to browse the internet from the R12. Once it is connected, just wait for some time, then you access the D-Link page, that is R12 page, using the host name, and you will be able to see what is the IP address you are getting from your main router. Okay, so this is the R12 page. Okay, so now you can see the status on the R12 page, that's existing network connected. So this is your main router, this is your R12 router. Okay, so there is a cable connected between two routers, and this is wirelessly connected to the R12. So now you can see that existing network connected. Okay, now if you want to check what is the IP address which is given by the DIR615 to the R12 router, you can come to settings, then go to network. In network you will be clicking on advanced. In advanced you can see what IP address it's received by the 615. So by default it is on dynamic, so you can click on it, click on static. So once it is static, the IP address will be 192.168.0.166. You can change the IP address whichever you want, okay, which you want, no issues with that, but by default it is getting 0.166, so I am just keeping the same one, as it could be a vacant IP. Alright, so once this is done, you need to click on save. So just remember, R12's IP address is 192.168.0.166. Now you can click on save, just wait for some time, let the settings save. Then again we'll connect this laptop wirelessly to the R12's network, and we'll see if you are able to access the internet, and also we'll see if you are able to access the R12's page using this IP 0.166 and also using the hostname. So you can copy this hostname and you can keep it with a notepad or something, or write it down somewhere. So if the router page is not able to open using the IP address 0.50 or any other IP address, you can access the router's page using the hostname. Okay. Once you log into the hostname, you can do the settings. No issue with that. Alright. So once the settings are done, click OK. Again, just check if it is able to, if you are connected to the R12 EXT network, which is the access point. So it says connected, and you should be able to access the internet. You can just open up a new browser, new tab, and just see if you are able to browse. Okay. So that means you are online. That means you are configured R12 as an access point. As I said, you can access the router's page using the hostname. You can also access, you should be able to access using the IP address also, which is 0.166, correct? So this is the page. So you are able to access using the IP address, and you are able to access using the hostname. Okay. And also you should be able to access the main router's page, which is DIR 615. So this is DIR 615. I'm able to access using the 0.1. I'm able to access the D-Link, the secondary router as which we have configured just now as an access point, which is R12, and then we are also able to access it using the hostname. So that signifies that the router is configured, this router is configured as an access point, and it is ready to use. You can try scanning for the network name, which is this R12. At the last we have set as an EXT. Once it is connected, you should be able to access the internet. Okay, so that concludes the configuration of R12 as a access point. We have configured this R12 as an access point. Okay, so thanks for watching this, and thank you again.